and welcome to Planner Unplugged, where we shine a light on the great work of financial planners and advisors and how clients can benefit from the services they provide. I'll allow my guests to introduce themselves. Ian, over to you.
Thanks, Katey. Thanks for having me on today. Great to be here. My name is Ian Futcher. I am a chartered financial planning consultant with Quilter Financial Advisors.
Oh, lovely. So Ian, I'll let our guests into a little, our audience into a little secret here. I've actually known you a very, very long time, long before I started writing about financial advice, via my lovely friend from school. So that's how we actually do know each other. But it's been very useful for me that I know someone in the field and can say, right, what's this all about? So how did you get into the world of financial advice, Ian?
Once again, just something that kind of stumbled in. It wasn't really a career path that I had thought about. I didn't think it was accessible. When you knew me, I was a stockbroker in the city of London, and worked in the city of London in kind of corporate roles for many years. And 2015, I was made redundant and took a bit of a gap, which was nice, and came back and kind of struggled to settle back into the corporate role. And that's when I was approached by a large financial planning firm who typically headhunt people that work in the city in kind of, I guess, advisor or investment roles, but not financial advisors per se, to kind of get them to move over. And they approached me, and I had a meeting with them and kind of sat down and talked about how financial advice works, and it's just a step across, really from what I was doing, stockbroking, and just advising kind of on a more holistic level, I guess. And that's when I started to look at the possibilities of doing that.
Yeah. What sort of attracted you to that? Is there something in particular about sort of what it's like working with clients to help them on that financial plan and that journey?
I think it was, the relationship side of financial planning. As you know, stockbroking was very transactional, and I didn't really like that. I enjoy talking with people and having a chat. And when you're stockbroking, people don't want you to ask how their dog is, or what their
Yeah.
day's like. They just want you to buy the share, make the trade and get off the phone as quickly as possible. And I really, really didn't enjoy that. So I had quite a few friends that were in wealth management and financial advising, but, from 10, 15 years prior, and having conversations with them about their experiences, I actually thought, well, actually, this is something I could be really well suited to, as I do like to build, relationships with people, and I do like to get to know them and work with them in the longer term rather than just kind of serving them here and there.
Yeah.
I also like the idea of working for myself as well and not having a boss. I was very much struggling in kind of going back into an employed role after taking, I think it was about a year out of work after being made redundant, through
Yeah.
choice. And the kind of to put two and two together and go, okay, well, this is something where I can build long-term relationships with my clients and potentially map my own future. This is something that could work really well for me. And it also gave me the opportunity to leave London, which is something I never thought I'd be able to do. I thought I'd always be stuck in the commuter belt, having to work in the city. And then suddenly I saw a way out of that. And yeah, this is brilliant. So, did three things in once, really. Kind of A, became my own boss, two, re-qualified to become a financial advisor, and three, moved to Dorset and
Yeah.
now live by the beach.
Yeah, I remember helping you move, Ian. So, like I say, we
Yes.
go back a long way. So I remember helping you move there. So you're closer to my in-laws now as well. But you mentioned that stumble word, and that sort of crops up quite a lot in terms of people that have gone into financial advice or financial services more generally sometimes, that people didn't really set out for a career in that field. I've come into it, absolutely love it. Like you say, it gives you that opportunity, that real sort of thing of creating something for yourself, but also helping those clients. What would you say we could do to make it more of a career of choice? So anyone listening, sort of thinking, actually, do you know what? Yeah, I don't really know what a financial advisor does, or why would that be appealing? What can we do to make it that fewer people start saying I stumbled into it, and say I actually set out to join this career, this profession?
Yeah, that's That's a hard question, and I think that the industry is starting to address that. With we're seeing academies being launched, and
Yeah.
you know attending fairs, and I do think that is very beneficial, because when I did it, it was very much, oh, you want to be a financial advisor, great, okay, good luck, let us know when you're ready. That was how it was, so you kind of had to go off and do it myself, and luckily I was in a position where I could fund that, and make those transitions and make those changes, but that's not available to everyone. So having the support at the beginning is really, really crucial, and getting out and going, actually, this is a really good career, and this is how you can help people. But actually, as a big firm, we will help you in that journey to that transition, because it's not just an easy, even as an employed role, it's not an easy position to pick up. It's great, you can learn the skill sets and all the rest, but actually being able to talk to clients and sit down and explain the benefits of financial advice is not something that just comes to everyone naturally. So um but as you said, that the difficulty is making, how do you make people aware that it is a career option, and a good career option at that? I think that's down to the industry really to push that message out there more. But I think we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, there's definitely been sort of movements, isn't there, to change that. And I think I'm starting to hear a few more people sort of say, actually, I am considering that. And there are the sort of younger generation coming through, or second careerists that have given it that thought and now know it's an option. And I think that's part of it, isn't it, of raising that awareness of what financial advice is, what it does,
Definitely.
also to the general public as well. There's all these figures out there of just how few people have access to financial advice, and a lot of advisors talk about sort of referrals and word of mouth, and actually someone sort of saying, oh, I benefited from talking to Ian, and how that sort of changed my life and my perspective and my financial situation. Is that how you get some of your clients? How do you get your clients, Ian? How does that all work?
Yeah, a mixed match really. I think, as you said, there's obviously referral, word of mouth, and that is very vital. Somebody doesn't wake up and go, oh, I need financial advice today,
Yeah.
uh, as much as we'd love that, it's not the real world. Um, People generally come to you when there's a problem, so obviously making sure your online presence is really strong is very important. Um, uh, there's lots of financial advisors to choose from, so how do you stand out in the crowd? That's very, very difficult to do. I think things like using online third party companies that can help boost your presence is good. But where I feel the industry's changed specifically in the last, well, since the Labour government come in, the landscape's changed so dramatically. Actually, financial planning isn't just something that we can do as individuals anymore, and I really, really feel that professional connections are actually really important at the moment. Working with a good tax accountant, working with a good family lawyer is really crucial, as we see the landscape change, and how to kind of create financial planning better is by working with these professional connections, so we can all together provide the best client outcomes where possible.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point of all these different services. And like you say, people are coming at sort of maybe potentially a difficult time in their lives, or they've suddenly realized that, I need help in something. But like you said, they're not waking up going, I need financial advice. It's maybe they feel that they've got a specific problem. But are there particular things that clients are coming to you with that, like, obviously, I would imagine no 2 days are exactly the same, no two clients are exactly the same, but are there topics that are cropping up quite a lot recently in terms of new clients that are coming on board?
um Yes, once again, I think with the changes the government have made, we're seeing a lot more people looking at their kind of tax planning and estate planning, and actually going, okay, well, what we've been doing for 10 years has suddenly gone out the window. How do we now approach this? And once again, goes back to being able to work with other professionals to create, bespoke solutions for individuals to help them. Also, pension consolidation and retirement planning. A lot of people. Uh, it's, the potential state pension age maybe going up, or that people are that potentially on the back of their mind looking, and actually, do I have enough for retirement now? What does that look like, and how can I best plan for that? Um, but yeah, those are your typical kind of scenarios, as you said, when someone comes to you with a problem. It would be great as an industry if we kind of stepped away from that and got the message out of how beneficial financial planning can be, and try and get people coming to us sooner, rather than, oh, I need to fix this. Can you help me fix it? It would be great if I need to fix this in 5 years, but let's plan for it now and, get something in place so we don't have this problem further down the line.
Is there that perception that people feel they can't afford financial advice? So again, like we said, they don't know what it is or where to turn sometimes, how to go about that. How do we get people to engage that little bit earlier and to start thinking about these things? Is that long-term thinking?
Yeah, once again, I think that's something as an industry we have to push that message out there together. We can't do it as individuals. It needs to be done jointly. I don't know how you get that out there. There is a perception, obviously, all financial advice that's just for the rich, or oh, I don't have those problems. But actually, in their stake inheritance tax, that was seen as a rich man's problem. But with property prices increasing, it's not hard to reach these thresholds now. Actually, it can affect you. So, I guess we have that duty really as financial advisors and as an industry to get that message out there of, look, this is how it can benefit you, this is how it can help you. How that's done, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that it's a lot of people coming together, isn't it? No one
Yes.
person has the answers. Similar to like the advice gap as well, and how we close those things and just get more people sort of realizing what they can access and the benefits of it. And that's one of the
Yeah,
reasons we
absolutely.
like to do this, of trying to showcase, what it is that advisors do and how planners go about that work and building that sort of value for clients, because it's far more than just that monetary, the chart going up in the right direction. Hopefully
100%.
it's that difference that you make to someone's life and taking some of those headaches away, or them thinking about things slightly differently now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, once again, going back to what I said earlier, the industry is making the right steps, and we are seeing the right noise. I think just potentially needs to be louder.
Yeah. What do you love about being a financial advisor, Ian? What makes you sort of want to keep doing this every day and helping those clients that you're serving?
Working with great people. I think, once again, it's a very relationship based industry. You choose who you work with, and people choose who they work with. And normally you end up with working with the right family, the right people, not all the time, but, majority of the time. So, you kind of almost become like friends
Yeah.
that you look forward to catching up with and having that conversation of, how's everything going? What's been going on? You end up speaking half an hour, 40 minutes about their dog, or,
Yeah.
um, before we even touch, oh right, okay, yeah, look, I got to go soon. We better talk about your finances. But also being able to make that difference, being able to take that pressure off people's minds. The worry of, oh, can we do this? Can we do that? And actually showing them, look, yeah, we can. We can do this, and this will work if we do this. And look at what potential savings we made. And as you said, it's not just about, oh, look, your investment's doing well. That's such a small part of financial planning. It's making sure all the right structures are in place, making sure the right structure is in place, and being able to take that person's mind off things so they can just go and live their life and don't have to worry about the kind of day-to-day plan, really.
Do you find clients sort of say the things that they think they want you to hear? And actually, sometimes it's trying to then get to the bottom of, what does that retirement look like for them? What are their aspirations for the future? How do you start enticing that out of people?
I hope they don't say things they just want me to hear, but you never know. I think it's just being personable, isn't it? And having that honest conversation of not just, asking questions, when would you like to retire? Having that conversation. What does it look like? What do you feel about? How do you, what do you envision? And just having that honest conversation of, what do you like to do? Do you like traveling? Do you like pottering at home? You know, um, but once again, I think that becomes being approachable, and that's part of the skill of being a financial planner is being a people person. You can have
Yeah.
all the technical knowledge in the world, but if you can't talk to people, people won't open up to you. So it's a bit of both, really.
That's probably another reason why it could be appealing to career to people. Like I said, it's those soft skills. Is a technical aspect obviously does come into it, and there's certain things that you'll need to know and get your head around and work all of that out. But a lot of it is that building relationships, getting to know that person, getting to find out what matters to them, and those soft skills. And I think that could be quite appealing to a lot of people out there, that actually, yes, this is a career that I could consider. This is something that I could look into and explore as well.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. It's like you said, it's not just or are you good with numbers? It's, what do you like doing? And every financial plan is different, aren't they? There's lots of financial planners that are more numbers based than that, and but there's some that just really really enjoy that relationship side, and that's the best part for them. I think
Yeah.
that's the majority.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a sort of personal money rule that you live by, Ian? Something that you feel that you've got to do, or something is, you know, people listening. I know you can't give regulated advice to a wider audience, but if there's something on that basis that you know has
It's
to
something me and my partner disagree on massively, and my money rule that I live by is you must enjoy it as well.
yes,
It's great to tuck everything away, but what are you tucking it away for? And I think part of my job is sometimes making people understand. Look, it's okay. You can go and
yeah,
spend some of that money. It's fine. Go and take that holiday. Go and do these things. You worked hard for it. It's important to have your basics covered, and your emergency fund, and and that. But at the same time, we have to enjoy our lives, and
life is for
sometimes that
living.
does mean splashing out a little.
Yeah, so I need to have a chat on the separate. Do I? Just to say we can send it a little bit. That's fine. But is that part of the problem with clients as well? Sometimes that there's that shift in mindset that you've been used to having to save and squirrel away and do the right thing, and then when it comes to that, yes, you can retire and you can start doing those things, or actually even in the run up to retirement, you should be enjoying as well, not just waiting for that moment in time. But
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's very crucial. I think a lot of people do have that mindset of like, I'm, scroll away, and I'll enjoy later on. But it is that realization of, okay, well, let's look at where you are, and I think that's some of the value we add, isn't it? Look at where we are. Okay, great. Well, actually, you do have room to relax a little bit and do enjoy that. And if things change, we could alter the plan down the line. And it's not just all of hardship and make sure you're saving.
yeah, yeah.
Very crucial to I like that freedom of going, do you know what, you worked hard, great, yeah, you can do that, you go and do it, go and buy that new car, go and do that. Not that I recommend reckless spending or anything, but just yeah,
Well, on the
enjoy
flip
myself.
side of that, Ian, I suppose sometimes you have to have fairly difficult and honest conversations with people as well when they're not fully on track to achieve those things that they want to
Yes,
achieve.
yeah,
And how
absolutely, and that's just it, just as important. To kind of go, look, actually, you might need to alter your plan a bit. You might need to potentially retire a couple of years later, and the ability to look at those different scenarios and map that out with clients is really crucial. And go, I wrote an article recently talking about downsizing. Actually, downsizing, I think, can play an enormous part of retirement planning for lots of people moving forward. Property values have gone up dramatically. I don't think they'll continue to go up as dramatically, but they have gone up dramatically. And people, there's a big asset that people have, and where you're short in other areas, you might potentially look to move and downsize it. So it's mapping out scenarios to people, going, look, just because you're not there doesn't mean you can't get there. Let's look at how we can alter that plan. Whether you go, all right, well, you wanted to live on X amount, that's not quite achievable. Do you think you could live on X amount? And it still gives them freedom, doesn't it? It still gives them the freedom to live
yeah,
their life, but just making that plan a bit more realistic.
sometimes how you frame that, I guess, as well as to what that looks like of to those scenarios and how they plan out. How important is that for clients to sort of see and try and I think if we think just as individuals, it seems impossible to think that far out and maybe that's why some people put off these discussions and conversations because retirement, I don't need to worry about that. That's ages away, that's fine. But like you said, if people could start earlier and see that benefit and that benefit of financial advice earlier. So how do you sort of have those conversations with clients? Is it you're using sort of software tools to sort of show them what those scenarios could look like?
Yeah, 100%. Technology's improved drastically in the last 5 years. Long gone are the days of just turning up, going, well, your pension's gone up or your pension's gone down. We've got a wide variety of different technology we can use now, and cash flow modeling. I don't understand how you can give financial advice without cash flow modeling. It's crucial, absolutely crucial. And should be an integral part of every review, really. um forecast retirement modeling, things like that, brilliant. and really can give people that visualization of, look, this is the plan. We're putting the plan into some data. It's not exactly going to turn out like this, but it's going to give us an estimate of where we are. We can look at potential growth forecasts and go, okay, well, if we can put in crashes, we can put in this, we can put in all the unforeseens, and look, our plan holds strong. That's brilliant to be able to do that with a client, and they then can see the value of why financial advice is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, right. So it's a great way of sort of thinking of how that's going to look, and how you sort of go about those things as well. Are there any other types of technology that you're using as well as a planner, that you're sort of trying out and making things more efficient, smoother for you?
As young as I feel, I'm a bit of a dinosaur technology-wise, unfortunately. Go with the young kids, and there's once again so much available out there, and it's just looking at what's right for you. There's saw a notepad that looks like an iPad, and you write notes on it, and then it sends it to you as a PDF. I can't remember what it was called, but it's fantastic. AI as well for note taking. A lot of people are using that now. Once again, something I need to get a little bit better at. Yeah, I think it's all out there for the taking.
Yeah, not that I get commission in any way, but the thing that you're talking about may be a remarkable. I use one every day, Ian, if it is where
Yeah,
it's
that's it. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And a lot of advisors have been to various events and conferences, and we'll compare notes of, oh, have you got a remarkable? And like I say, I'm not getting any commission. I wish I did, because the amount of people that have randomly come up to me, or have been on a train and they've seen me sort of scribbling away on this. I'm like, what is that? But I'd imagine, for advisors, it's that thing of, clients and folders and keeping things in that information and just being able to access it.
Yeah,
But is that a
absolutely.
struggle in itself for advisors, that there's so much technology out there? Some obviously specific to the world you operate in, some just more broad, and as sort of that, self-employed person type of thing, trying to run your own stuff. Is it, you don't know where to turn? Can it be quite overwhelming at times? You've obviously got the things that you're trying to do day in, day out, and this is then another thing to consider and think about.
Once again, as I said, I think I'm just a bit out of touch. I need my son to come and show me what's good and what's not.
No,
But
we
yeah,
can
no,
definitely learn from the younger generations that are just born with this stuff and know how to use a smartphone from like day one, it seems.
absolutely. So yeah, there's a lot to learn. So I think, no, I don't think there's too much choice. I think it's finding the right thing for the individual, isn't there? Something will work for somebody, and doesn't mean it will work for the next planner. We all have our own individual styles, and I think the more technology out there, the more we can find to suit our style and suit our needs.
Yeah.
It's only a good thing, I think. These advances, and just hopefully will make our job more efficient, more less time consuming, and therefore we're able to do what we love and spend more time with clients.
And it's that, isn't it? I think it's technology being used for that beneficial reason, that free up the time to do the things that only you can do best, and allow the technology to sort of be that support, that assistant, and to make things a little bit efficient in the background, but mainly so you can have that relationship and that communication with clients, and free it up for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you mentioned being part of Quilter. So how does that work for you, in terms of then you're sort of your own boss, but you get that support from that wider company?
Yeah, 100%. So I am part of the Quilter Financial Advisors, which is obviously Quilter's main, I guess, distribution arm. Um, we're all they have a mix of employed and self-employed advisors. I've been with Quilter since the beginning, really, since they bought Charles Darby all those years ago. And yeah, yeah, it's great. The support you get from Quilter is fantastic. The proposition's really strong. Um, Obviously, the help with external stuff, power planning, and all that's been really good for me. But as I said, it allows me to go out there and choose who I want to work with and the hours I want to work.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I can work around a few things like that then. So are there any what's been the biggest influence on your career? Is there anything that sort of stands out in that sense, or any standout moments in your career even? Yeah.
It's been, I've worked with some great people that have really helped me along the way, and I think that's really important that we do that. Is we pass that knowledge on. Starting as somebody who moved to a new area, didn't have any connections, didn't have any clients, was just starting out by myself as a newly trained financial advisor. I wouldn't have made it without the support of other advisors and other people within my network. Where I could go to them and just bug them like a puppy, and
Please help
constantly like,
me.
what? Yeah, please help me. What would I do? What's this? What's this? What's this? And without those people's help, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I think that we really, as an industry, need to support people coming through because it's tough, it's hard. Learning how to give advice and get out there and do that aspect of it whilst trying to obtain clients, whilst trying to stay compliant, whilst trying to keep up with servicing and maintain high standards is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
So, I'm always happy to give my time to new advisors because without, like I said, I just wouldn't be here. So, I think that it's important as an industry we support each other, and I don't see other advisors as a competition. I see them as help and support, and
Yeah.
I hope that people would see me in the same way.
I think that's one thing that I've sort of found about the advice community, that people are willing to give up their time and to help others, and to really sort of show that, this has been a great career for me. Like we said, hopefully we'll change that narrative and other people are sort of coming into it straight away from that, yes, I want to go into this career. And I think it's really important that people know that there is somewhere they can turn, there's people that they can go to, they can ask, but there's no such thing as a silly question, but they can ask those questions that they might feel are a little bit silly. And I know, similar for me, when I started out as a journalist initially, of just having people that you could go, well, is that okay? Is that right? What would your advice, suggestions be around this? And being able to pass that knowledge on to someone else as well, and do the same when the opportunity sort of presents itself to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything else from you, Ian? Anything else that you think is worth sharing for those, like say, either looking to start out, those thinking about getting their finances in order, and anything to leave our listeners with?
Yeah, I guess the sooner you start making a plan, the better chance you have of achieving your objectives. For anyone that's looking to get advice, always, yeah, the sooner you start, the better. But late's better than never. So,
Yeah, yeah. Start today if you can't start yesterday. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. And similar thing, that anyone looking to get into the advice, there's lots of support out there. Anyone looking to get into the advice industry, there's lots of support out there. There's lots of great places to work. I think, that as we see more and more places willing to work with trainees, because back when I started, it wasn't the case at all. If you didn't have
yeah,
cars, people didn't want to know. That was simple as that. No one had the time to train anyone, and I think that's changing. So we're more welcoming, more friendly, and we have to be really for the survival of the industry. It's really important that we get new people on board because as we know, more and more are retiring, and there's a gap as there is in the amount of people that should be getting advice and are getting advice, and that would only get bigger if we don't get the advisors in to replace them.
yeah. Absolutely. No, I think, like we said, there's a lot of things, a lot of people coming together to try and bridge that gap, hopefully. So maybe next time we get to catch up on in this environment, then we can see that we've made some progress along the way. But thank you very much, Ian,
Thanks.
and thank you to all of
Thank
our
you.
listeners.
Thanks a lot.
There you go.